All right, so I've pre-drained the oil, taken off the intake, some of that stuff. I'm gonna film popping the cover off and then splitting the cases. But this is after like 200 miles, just doing a teardown inspection, and then we're attempting to solve the oil pumping issue. And for some reason, this lower right bolt is tighter, and I don't know why. It's like that on the other 4 cases also. Is make sure to get all the shims off. Case cover bearings does still feel good. Got washers dropping on the floor. Yeah, there we are. Everything's apart. I'm gonna pop all this loose. Take some more videos of anything else that seems fucked up. As I've recommended in the assembly instructions, it's a good idea to double check all of the shimming once some runtime has passed. On the engine, I ended up being at 12 thousandths axial play at 200 mile inspection on the crank, so I added 5 thousandths shim to get in spec. On the transmission, I replaced both the center case gasket and one of the 3 transmission cover gaskets. I ended up removing 10 thousandths from both shafts inside the transmission to get them in spec. The crank can be shimmed simply by removing the ignition mount plate, like you can see in this photo. You just add a shim between the plate and the spacer. Since this is a prototype, there were bound to be a few things I missed. After the first build, I was getting excessive oil discharge from the centered vent and the starting mechanism. An oil separator is a pretty complicated and expensive feature to add to a machine part, and I thought some centered vents would be good enough. I also omitted a top vent in the final drive compartment, and the case gasket was marginal on assembly. The gasket manufacturer applied tape to the case gaskets and ended up creasing them while I was removing the tape. I decided to try venting in a new location out of any spray from the final drive or transmission that also added the final drive to trans compartment bleed as well at the top of the final drive compartment. The new vent was drilled and located with 3D printed drill guide with bushings installed. The case gaskets have since been recut by the gasket manufacturer and no longer have tape applied. I'm not sure if the oil pumping issue was caused by the case gasket or the final drive, but it's fixed now and I like the new location far more. I'm running 15W40 Rotella in the case. There are some exciting accessories coming out for these cases, as well as a new case and new engine designs. Give this channel a follow or go hit up Schimmel Engineering on Instagram. 2024 should be a fun year.